everyone, it's Kim Vogel with the Basement Bunch Stampers here for another terrific Tuesday video. Today I want to share with you a really cute, simple, interactive card referred to as the waterfall technique. And it looks really hard to put this together, but it truly is not. And so how it works is when the receiver gets the card, they pull on this little tab and then they get their greeting. Isn't that cute? I love it. I think it's so fun. And you can experiment and make this in many different colors, incorporating different stamp sets. And since it is interactive, there isn't really anywhere to sign your card. So I actually included a piece of the basic Whisper White on the back. So that is where I'm going to sign my greeting to whoever I give this card to. But I think it's a really cute, unique card that's going to get your receiver saying, how'd you do that? So I'm going to actually share with you how I did that, and I encourage you to experiment with other papers and different supplies and stamp sets that you might have in your collection as well. So what I started off with is a piece of basic black for my back, my mat, and this is cut 5.5 by 4.25. So it's basically a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock cut into 4s, and this is 1/4 of that piece, okay? So that is what I used for the back of this card. Remember, there is no opening of it. It simply just does this little pull thing, and then your greeting and everything is on the back. So this is the base of the card, and from there, I cut a piece of Melon Mambo 5.25 by 4, followed by a piece of designer papers from the Petal Passion pack, and I used the leaf side, but for this one I'm going to actually use the polka dot side, and that is cut 5 by 3.75, and those I simply layered all together. So I'm going to do that real quick here so that you can see how simple this part of the card goes together. Now I will have all of these measurements on my blog as well at kimsbasementbunch.com. I encourage you to go there and check it out. Also, if you join my mailing list, I provide free tutorials on Fridays. Every Friday in your email you will get 2 free tutorials for cards or projects, and those are exclusive to my mailing list. So you only get them by being a part of my mailing list. Again, go to kimsbasementbunch.com. From here, I want to notch this out a little bit, and I'm using our 1.5 inch circle punch, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball this up a little bit, and I'm kind of making sure I have the same amount of cardstock on each side, and I'm simply going to punch this out. Went flying. That's okay though. Okay, so that is so far the beginning part of that. Now what I want to show you is how to build this cute little builder piece right here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to share with you next. And I did some of this work in advance, and again, I will have the measurements also in the link to my blog will be in the description of this video, so you can always refer back to that as well. But this is a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock that I cut 1 7/8 by 9, and then I scored this at 2 inches, again at 2 3/4, 3.5, and finally at 4.25. Okay, so I did that in advance, and then I'm just going to fold all of these down like that, and then on the you have this little line right here. That's where you want to stamp your greeting, because that is where you're going to be pulling that out and where you're going to be able to see that greeting, okay? So you can stamp any kind of a greeting that you want. The 2 stamp sets that I use today for my stamping is I use the Ribbon of Courage stamp set, and I use the greeting Sending Love and Hugs Your Way, as well as the Live Every Moment, Laugh Every Day, Love with All Your Heart, because I made my card heart themed using the Heart Happiness. The stamp set is currently in our occasions catalog. Came out for Valentine's Day, but I'm going to show you another cute use of it that can be used as a thinking of you, encouragement, hope card, anything like that as well. So what you're going to do is once you fold all of these down, you're going to see your last score line right here, and you want to stamp directly underneath of that, okay? So that is the beginning part of that. And then what I did is in advance I cut basic black squares and I cut white squares. Now the basic black squares are cut 2 by 2, and the Whisper White was cut 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. From there, I went ahead and I did some simple stamping on this. Again, using the Heart Happiness card. I stamped some hearts and things like that. And I put those together. You just glue those together with regular adhesive. I used our Fast Fuse adhesive. I did those in advance to save a little bit of time. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to start the assembly of this little strip. So what I'm going to do is starting on that 2-inch line right here, you want to build this backwards. So the last greeting or the last little flip thing that I want people to see is the greeting. Let me show you what I mean. So as they pull this out, the last one that flips is the greeting. And that is what I want to have the last one be. So you have to build it backwards. So I'm going to start with that last one. And I'm only going to add a little bit of adhesive right to the very top of this. Okay, so see, I only added adhesive to the top. And this piece is going to be a little bit bigger than your Melon Mambo piece. I'm going to line that up right at the score line, and I'm going to adhere that down. And then I'm going to take the next one that I want, which I want these cute little hearts. And again, I'm only going to go with adhesive at the very top. And I'm going to go to this next score line and line that up. And you want to make sure as you're lining it up that you're also lining it up on this edge as well. You don't want that to be crooked. So the next one I use is the cute little roses. And so I'm just going to keep on layering these, going up to that next score line each time and making sure that it's flush against that score line and that it's matching up with the rest of this little part that I've already done. The final one, and this is the one that I wanted on the very top, so you can see that that one's the one I have on the very top, is why I wanted it to be the full heart and not just a little bit of stamping. Let me advance my adhesive here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put that one right here on the top. Again, making sure it's lined up. Okay, so there I have my little part that's going to go inside of that card. From there, I'm going to move that to the side for a minute and finish building our card. I'm going to bring in the piece that I did previously. I also cut out a piece of a little black strip, 4 1/4 by 1. And this I'm going to adhere down to the bottom, but I'm only going to put adhesive on the 2 ends. Now, this is where you're going to need to use a stronger adhesive. If you don't like Fast Fuse, I encourage you to use our tear and tape. That is a really good adhesive as well. But I like the Fast Fuse, and the Fast Fuse does the trick for me. So I've been using Fast Fuse. And so you can see that's only adhered down to those 2 ends. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the back piece. I've already stamped my heart on that, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive onto this, and this is going to be where I can write my message and to who the card is to and from me and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to adhere that, and then I'm going to also punch this out again. You're probably wondering why I didn't do that all at once. This cardstock would have been, all those layers would have been too much for me to punch out at once, so it's easier to do that separately than to try to do all of them at once. So from here, what I'm going to do now is we're going to adhere the little interactive part that we made. So, and again, if you don't use Fast Fuse, I encourage you to use tear and tape. We're going to eyeball and put a little bit of adhesive right here in the center. And you want the adhesive to be about the length of this strip, of this width of this strip. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in here like that. So I'm just putting that bottom part underneath, bringing this down. And then I'm going to kind of line it up where I want it, and I'm going to push that down. And that glued that in piece. And look at that awesome interactive card that we just made. Isn't that cute? So I've seen cards done with this technique where they've used the panda, the party pandas that are currently in the in the celebration offering. Now, if you don't have the Panda Bear stamp set yet, it's available with a $50 order only through March 31st of 2008. So I encourage you to get them $50 orders in to get that pretty awesome stamp set. Or you can experiment again with any kind of stamp set that you might have. I just think it's a cute interactive card. The other thing that you could do is you could also put a little piece of ribbon here on the bottom and just kind of staple it on there so people can pull on the ribbon. I just chose not to do that. I kind of liked it just like that. And I thought it was a cute little card. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this cute, simple card today. Make sure you check out my website at kimsbasementbunch.com. Make sure you join my mailing list. I also offer online classes, so check them out. Thanks for stopping today, and have a great day.